What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the shop. As you can see, the disease of being a Volkswagen guy is it's just never gonna leave me for some reason. I got another one in here, another bug on the lift, and we're gonna try to make this thing run. So give you a little bit of background on this car right now. This is a pretty much restored 1967 Volkswagen Beetle. Sedan, whatever you guys want to call it. It's a bug. Belongs to my next door neighbor, who is also a really, really big car guy. And he is an all-around car guy. He's got a 57 Chevy. He's got a Nova. He's got a bug. Kind of like me, he's got a little bit of everything. But he's got too much of a little bit of everything and just does not have the time to finish this car. From what I was told today when we brought the car over here, this car has not ran in over 15 years. And it got painted probably 10 or 11 years ago, and it's just been sitting indoors, painted, partially put back together, interior done. Headliner needs a little bit of work, but this thing's ready to go. Right up my alley when it comes to finishing projects and getting them running. I am a big proponent of getting my projects running and then finishing up all the little stuff on it later. So that's what I'm gonna do for my neighbor Mike. I'm gonna go ahead and get this car running for him. I'm gonna get the carburetors on, all that stuff, get the linkage set up, get the electrical stuff done, get the car running and driving, get everything bolted back together, put the pedal assembly in, bleed the brakes. I mean, get this thing ready for the road, basically. And then he can come back and put the bumpers in. He has to still paint the deck lid. He needs to paint the hood and put it on, I believe, or he's got it. But we went ahead and left it off just so I could get to the wiring in here. I'm going to clean up all this factory Volkswagen wiring. As you can see, he's got a brand new tank. We need to get a gas cap for it. I've got a huge list of things over here on my grease board to get to. I'll show you guys what we're doing here. So, 67 bug stuff. I'm going to start working on fuel filter, sending units, all the fuel stuff, suspension, install the pedals, engine stuff, general wiring, brakes, install the shifter and boot, starter bolt, all that kind of stuff. That's what we're going to get done on this beautiful 1967 bug. I know it's a little bit different than my Dune content, guys, but I figured it's what I'm working on, and so I'm going to bring you along with me. You guys probably already know that I am a big Volkswagen guy. I always have been. I've probably owned 15 or 20 of these cars in my lifetime since the time I was 16 years old up until now. Into my never mind. We're not going to say how old I am, but I know these cars in and out like the back of my hand. I know the wire harnesses. I know the colors by heart. I know every aspect of these cars. And not to say that that's a huge accomplishment because there's not a lot to these cars. They are pretty basic, but I know them pretty well. I know carburetor setups pretty well on these Volkswagen motors. This motor is a brand new 1835 that was built by Dan over at Competition Engineering here in Arizona. Dual port setup. It's got an AS41 case. I don't think they're 044 heads. I'm not quite sure, but I'm really not even going to get into it that far. I'm going to do some cool stuff though. I'm going to take this coil and we're going to flush mount it into the fan shroud, which makes it look really, really cool. You can just hose clamp it in the back, and then the coil just sticks out right here. It's really clean and sano. I'm going to set up the clutch cable, pedal assembly, throttle cable, put a belt on it. Like I said, just get it running and driving. So my next door neighbor, Mike, who is also, like I said, a huge car guy, he's got a lot of cars. He can have something to enjoy or sell or just finally get on the finish list and move on to the next project. So that's what we're doing today, guys. Working on this bug. I'm going to bring you guys along with me, and we're going to get this thing running. So here we go. Just a quick note also, if you guys are interested in this beautiful 67, when it is finished, it will be for sale. So hit me up in the comments if you're interested in buying a car. This thing will be for sale. So right off the rip, as you guys can see, all the body work's been done. He is a body and paint guy, car guy by trade, but he does do body and paint, and he is very good at it. Beautiful, beautiful green and gray colors here. Right here along the molding line. So when the stainless molding goes on here, it separates the two-tone, which is really cool. Cool story about that is, a funny story is, when I restored my 57 Oval, they accidentally put the stripe up here. So when I went to go pick up the car, I had to leave it at the paint shop because they had to move the stripe down to there. But, you know, all OEM glass in it. Just a really, really nice example of a 67. Interior, been redone. He does have the bottom of the back seat. That back seat is 67 only. Front seats, I believe, are 67 only also. I'm going to put the shifter and pedal assembly in and tidy up the rest of the car. But, I mean, it's been painted inside and out. The thing is just absolutely gorgeous. He has the door panels. He actually has everything to finish this car. If you guys don't know a whole lot about VWs, 1967 is 1 year only. So what I mean by that is a lot of the things on this car, sorry about that, were made 1 year only. Like, for instance, the headlights. 67, first year of the flat headlights. 66, glass covered. Personally, I like the glass headlights, so if I did own a 67, I would put 66 front fenders on it and put the glass headlights. This is a sway bar car, so it does have a rear sway bar, which also 67. There's the mount for it right there. The end links are not on there, but as you can see, the transaxle tubes, the axle tubes are set up for a sway bar, which is really cool. And if I remember correctly, these seats, front seats, are also 67 only. I don't know why. I'd have to look it up. I don't remember. But this particular low back, it'll fit in other cars, but something about this low back is 67 only. And I know the rear is 67 only for sure. So, kind of cool. A lot of one-of-a-kind things for this year only on these cars, which makes them kind of desirable. There are a big, and the deck lid. The deck lid is 67. I didn't realize that because it's not here, but this deck lid is 67 only also. Kind of cool. So without further ado, guys, we're going to go ahead and jump into this thing, get to rolling. I've already got the carburetors up here on the bench, going through those, get them all cleaned out, and we're going to get them bolted up to the motor, get the linkage set up, and get this thing ready to fire. All right, guys, back in the shop again today, working on the 67. Got a bunch of the wiring cleaned up in here. I've got to hook up the taillight stuff, but I don't know if I showed you in the last clip, but I got the carburetors on permanently. We got a new cap and rotor and wires on. Got all this wiring done. I still need to go pick up a belt, and I still need to install a coil, but we got an ignition switch put in, and now I'm going through the wiring underneath the hood, which is a rat's nest that I'm going to clean up, but a lot of it's got paint and stuff on it. So I'm having to clean a bunch of the terminals, but I'm going to go ahead and turn it over, see what she sounds like. All right, sounds pretty good. Motor sounds healthy, good compression. So we're gonna keep turning this over till the oil light shuts off so we know it's got oil pressure. And then we may just sit the coil up and throw a little juice down the carburetors and see if she fires. So I was just getting ready to fire this thing, and I have turned it over quite a bit, getting the timing set. And I noticed that the oil light wasn't turning off. It wasn't building oil pressure. So what I did is went in here and checked his external cooler lines. And I don't know if you guys can be able to see this, but we'll go right up here. We'll zoom way in. And the bottom line says output. So this should go to the input of your filter, right? That's going to be this one right here. And it is going to the output. So we have the out to the out and the in to the in. So had we not caught that, this thing wouldn't have built any oil pressure, and bye-bye engine. So we're going to go ahead and drop the oil cooler down, cut these tie wraps, get the lines flip-flopped. Then we should be able to build oil pressure and be good to go. Situation worked out. I went ahead and filled the float bowls, so I've got the Lone Wolf button. We're going to go ahead and fire this thing up. I got to put a belt on it, but I just wanted to get the fan rolling around, and it sounds pretty good. Heck yeah. Well, she's definitely a runner. There's all the paint burning off the exhaust, but I think sounds pretty good. Today we are back in my shop. We just made a quick trip to California to go pick up my toy hauler. We got it all fixed up. The roof is fixed. The wall sag issues have been taken care of. And today it is finally going down. My Aiden Engineering sleeved GSR block. This is my OG GSR block from back in the whole shot days. We've had this block for probably 20 plus years. It's finally getting assembled. The last time I tried to put this together, we had some issues. It had to go back to Aiden Engineering and get line honed, but we got that all taken care of. And check it out, boys. MGP aluminum rods, King bearings, ACL bearings, Trom pistons, all the good stuff. ARP L19s. We even went so far as, since we were line honing it, is to get rid of the factory rod bolt or factory crank bolts and do ARP studs. I don't know if you can see, there's a couple just sitting in there holding the caps in. The rest are right here. We are going to get to assembling this engine, but in order to do that, we first have to measure the bearing clearances. So we're going to grab some plastic gauge and a bore gauge and go ahead and take a look. But I want to show you guys. My friend Anthony Donalo from Aiden Engineering, I've known him a very, very long time. And just look at this, guys. It does not get better than that. That is, when it comes to sleeve and Honda blocks, Aiden Engineering, that is your go-to, man. This guy is he just knocks it out of the park every single time. This block was an LA sleeve block from years ago. It had some questionable sleeving techniques done to it back in the day. He was able to press those old sleeves out, put these brand new Darton sleeves in. I'm going to flip this thing over real quick, and I want to show you something else. First and foremost, you can see how thick the sleeves still are down there. We went ahead and stayed with an 81 millimeter bore, just because we want to have all that cylinder wall clearance in case we do have a mishap. We can always get that taken care of. But then take a look at how he notches for the aluminum rod clearances. He actually does it on the CNC machine. Look at that. So freaking clean. Every one of them is done exactly the same. No grinder marks, no nonsense. Just straight up, legit CNC machine notch for the aluminum rods. I cannot wait to get the crank in this thing and get this thing put together, boys. You have no idea how excited I am to finally have my aluminum rod motor going together. I had started filming a video about this motor when I was putting it together originally, and it had MGP rods that were a little bigger here in the bottom end, and when I went to go put everything together, they did not fit through the bore. These ones, they will fit through the bore, so totally stoked on that. As you can see, they're ground down, they're stepped right here, so you see the cap will not fit through the bore. Let me show you. So the cap doesn't fit through the bore, but the rod itself, when the cap's off, fits right through the bore, no problem. So they're just clearanced a little bit here for smaller bore. Ideally, you want to use the bigger MGP rods and do like an 83 or 84 millimeter bore. Gives you a little bit more displacement. But, and that's the ideal motor, right? 83, 84 millimeter with an LS crank gives you a little bit more stroke, gives you a little bit more displacement, and kind of maxes this thing out. So I chose to stay with the thick cylinder walls in case I have an issue. I don't want to ruin this block and have to re-sleeve it. I can just rebore it and I can keep going up from there. So if the time does come where I have to bore this to 83 or 84, I can always step up to the bigger MGPs. Not a big deal. But yeah, guys, we're going to go ahead and flip this thing back over, get the crank in, get it plastic gauged, and check the bore. Like I said, we had it line honed. So we definitely need to check the oil clearances on the bearings, and going to get it put together. Also, I've got like 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, to get this motor assembled, all put together. I do have to order a few more parts for it. I do need another oil pan. My car is not here. It's out at PFI speed in my enclosed trailer, and with the bad motor in it. So I'm going to get this thing as fully dressed out as I can so I can get up there a few days early before the PFI event in Nebraska. We can get the motor swapped out, get the cart back on the dyno, tune this motor. Yeah, like I said, totally complete. I even have a brand new head right here for it. Fresh from the boys over at Stone Machine. Got that thing all decked for me, and we should have a great seal. I've got head gaskets. I've got a JE Pro Seal gasket as well as an OEM gasket that's 81 mil. And yeah, guys, I know I'm rambling on, but I'm super, super excited about getting this motor put together. So I know this is Honda content, guys, and you don't really like it, but I just got to show you what I'm doing on the day-to-day. I mean, I could film a video about my Segway if you guys wanted to watch that, about me replacing the battery in my scooter for the track. So, like I said, trying to keep it automotive related, and yeah, it's going down for real. All right, guys, so we're back out in the shop again today. It's been a couple days since I filmed that intro for building my motor, and it turns out that we had the wrong bearings. These are the 1957 H standards. I needed the 1959s. These are for B series engines. These are for single cam B18A1s and ZC motors. And the difference is placement of the tang. So this bearing will fit in the block side, but it will not fit in the girdle side because the tang is off to the side and not in the middle. So these bearings are going back in the box. We're going to go ahead and get these in, start getting everything measured up, and get this thing. All right, so what I did next, guys, is I got my plastic gauge out. If you guys don't know what plastic gauge is, let me see if there's any in here. Yeah, there we go. So it's these little thin strips of plastic right here, right? What you do is you take that piece of plastic, that little thin strip, and you lay it across the crank journal with the bearings installed. And then you go ahead and torque down your girdle and your main caps. And then you take a piece of the paper here and it shows you all the clearances. What I'm looking for is right around 007. I'd be super happy with that. So what that does is once you torque it down, after you lay it across here, it smashes the plastic down onto the crank. And I don't know if can you guys see that? There we go. So there's my clearance. Now I'm going to take my measuring deal here. Like I said, what I'm looking for is 007. And we are, dude, look at that. Right on the money. So it looks like the oil clearances are going to be okay. Now, a lot of guys only check one and they go, oh, it'll be fine. I do them all. So if you look, I did one back here. And if we hold our measuring stick up, we're right on the money at 007. So we're going to pull the main girdle off here and check the rest. Okay, well, I didn't film a whole lot of that because it was just kind of tedious and boring. I got the rods on the pistons, got the rings in, got everything in and back together. What I'm going to start working on now, I'll show you guys from underneath there. What I'm working on now is the oil pump. So I got to knock the seal out real quick. And on a B-Series motor, you see the pump is keyed and the crank is keyed, right? But we line bored this, I'm sorry, we didn't line bore this, we line honed it. And we may have changed the crank center line just a little bit. So I'm gonna knock the seal out of there. I'm gonna go ahead and put the pump on and stick a feeler gauge top and bottom and make sure it's sitting evenly. If it's not even, then what you gotta do is take the dowel pins out of the oil pump and then stick feeler gauges in there, then bolt it down. That way you can center the oil pump, because if you don't center it at high RPMs, you're gonna have oil pump gear failures and problems. But Anyways, guys, we got her back together. I'm going to go ahead and do the oil pump stuff now. Look at that. Woohoo. And yeah, going to be back together. So another thing, guys, I was just dropping that oil pump on the floor, but I was just talking to Tom, and he reminded me that this is the first engine that we've built for my Honda that was basically 100% new parts. Every other engine we've put together for my Honda that made 1,000 whatever horsepower, 800, 700, all those, that was all done on used parts, and a lot of it was from 20 plus years ago that I've had since I had my shop and stockpiled. Even some of the parts on this new engine are that old. That oil pump is from my old shop, I think. I know that the water pump and the timing stuff and all that from this motor is all from my old race car, or our old race car. So still using some old parts, but this engine will be all, you know, it is all new. New sleeves, new pistons, aluminum rods. We definitely changed the center line on the crank. So check it out. I've got this feeler, which is 20 thousandths. And it barely will go in there, right? And on the bottom, whoo, she flows right in, no problem. So what we've done is the center line of the crank has moved up higher. So what we have to do, unbolt the oil pump, take the dowel pins out, put even feeler gauges top and bottom, and then bolt the pump. To get this thing centered, looks like it's 13. 0.013 on top, 0.013 on the bottom. The pump is nice and centered. I should be able to snug it up there, and we should be good to go. So now that I've done this dry, I gotta pull it all apart, put all the Honda Bond on it, put her back together again. Well, I've got all my Honda Bond on the pump. I've got my feeler gauge in the top and in the bottom, 013. They both move in and out snugly, which means we're pretty much centered on that bad boy. These are all snugged up, so we are done. Oil pump centered, but yeah, all finished up. Good to go. We're gonna take the bolt out, pop the seal back in, and then water pump, you know, same thing, guys. Just keep on moving forward, getting this thing assembled and ready for PFI Speed Fest. Well, we're all ready. I got my L19 head studs in, head gasket on, and cylinder head is about to go on. So the guys over at Stone Machine surfaced this thing for me and cleaned it up. So we're gonna put it on, get her torqued down. Here we go, boys. Guys, last pull, we're going to do it in 4th gear. New motor, aluminum rods, sounds healthy as can be. Totally happy with it. Here we go. We're going to make some jam. About 31. 887. guys, so that's going to wrap it up for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you're sticking around to the end, I'm going to show you one more clip in relation to what my Honda does to a Hellcat on slicks. Check this out right here. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you give us a like and subscribe, share this video with your friends. Jump on over to theduneaddict.com, grab yourself some merch, and we will see you guys in the next video.